hold the phone. The capture images aren't showing up.
Oh.
Well, isn't that fantastic?
Poker touched something.
Nope, haven't changed anything.
What has happened?
Gotta catch him.
You tell me. Yeah, no, it's OBS is not not finding my window. Let's see. That seemed to work.
I have a question for you, experienced D&D people.
Mm-hmm.
These worlds that eventually get created and turn popular, I imagine they were once homebrew stuff, and then just somebody turned it into more life. Is that fair to say?
Think so, yeah.
I
Cool.
mean, places like Phandalin and Dralamar they're from the original, I don't know what edition. But then, like, the Sword Coast has been around forever.
Right.
And that's, original D&D property. But then it takes something like really popular homebrew stuff, say, for example, the stuff that Critical Role does. They don't play in that world. They're not from Faerun. They're from Exandria.
Oh,
Because of their popularity, D&D has done books, like, in collaboration with them, so that you can play campaigns in that world.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But there are also all sorts of other like worlds that were created like back in the 80s, the Greyhawk and Dragonlance and Ravenloft and stuff like that. But yeah, at one point where somebody made it up,
There's not that many, though. Like, there's Eberron, there's Greyhawk, there's a handful of others that you might hear of.
Yeah.
But tons of people do their own homebrew stuff, and some people have come up with some amazing shit. On my Pinterest, I have tons of like homebrew, artifacts, weapons, things like, and some of them are amazing.
Anybody watching the stream? Does that look alright?
Yeah, it looks good.
Cool.
looks alright to me.
I'm just gonna we'll just hop in here and link a spell just for fun. Make
Yeah,
sure-
the only thing, the chat looks like it's. Oh, the chat looks right, I guess.
Yeah, it's mostly there. It looks like it's maybe a little offset to one side. Yeah, that's strange. The capture windows just weren't hooking up with my Edge window, and literally just toggling the title matching one way and the other got it working again. So weird. But that seems to all fit. So we'll go with that. Never mind me tinkering with Deeb's character sheet. Alright, so, last week, the party found their way back to Phandalin with a bit of downtime and met quite a few folks from well outside the town who've come seemingly at the behest of Gundren Rockseeker, who supposedly sent letters out looking for investors in the newly discovered lost mine of Phandelver. They found Gundren, and he claims to have not written those letters. By the way, they end up finding that a gentleman by the name of Silas had written them instead. through the course of events, the party actually ends up helping fund the Rock Seekers expedition as they were running out of cash funds, and buys into a 20% share of the mine with the cash advance, as well as promise to help clear out the plethora of undead that were found within the abandoned mine. As we begin tonight's session, the party is leaving Phandalin with Gundren and Kurt, his wagon driver, on their way to the Rockseeker expedition. A day's travel over rolling hills covered in tall grass, various shrubs and foliage, and sparse forest as they head towards the foot of the Sierra Madres, and the narrow valley at the back of which, on a cliff's edge, stands the Rockseeker camp, and beyond it, the Lost Mine. So, as we set out for a day of travel, who's taking lead, and what are you all doing?
I'm going to sit up on the wagon with Kurt for a while, just keeping an eye on the road.
Okay. We could call this a simple travel skills challenge. Then, if you want to start off with a your choice of proficiencies, the DC for this will be 12. So pick a skill in which you're proficient. Explain how you would use it to successfully help guide the party to their destination, and then go ahead and roll against a DC of 12. The weather is
she's
fair.
Gonna use...
It's overcast, a little bit of drizzle here and there, bits of blue sky breaking through to the west. The temperature is mild, and while there isn't a road, you have Gundren and Kurt with you. They know the way. There is a bit of a rough path part of the way there. It's a bit slow going, but relatively safe.
She's going to use perception. And from time to time, because we're not moving very fast, she'll hop down off of the wagon and move ahead a little ways. Just to stop and listen. You know, to see if the birds have gone quiet, to see if there's any sound of wildlife, to see if she can hear anything, and to see if she can see anything coming up on the road ahead.
All right.
Oh, nice, nice.
13's good enough. One of your times ranging out ahead, you hear a stirring in a grove of trees off to your right, maybe 100 feet or so, signaling back to the wagon and your party. You make a wide arc around that patch of trees, hoping to avoid perhaps a dangerous animal or group of wild animals. You never actually see anything, but you successfully evade any sort of encounter. Who would like to go next? We're looking for a total of 3 successes before 3 failures for this one-day trip.
Nora will go next.
Alright.
Kind of like being a blacksmith and just kind of looking at making sure everything is running like it should. Regular maintenance, tied up to everything good. Wheels are working. Can't do anything about the donkeys though.
Oxen.
Oh yeah,
But you probably don't have animal handling, so maybe you can't tell.
right. I do not. And I guess I would use, I don't know.
Well, for blacksmithing, you could make a intelligence plus proficiency or wisdom plus proficiency check. Wow, that's a fun one to say. Your choice.
I'll do intelligence.
And if that probably isn't something easy there, so you can just do a straight int roll, and we can just add your proficiency manually to it.
Okay.
Your proficiency is +3, so
Yep.
12 even, just barely make it.
Phew.
As you're pacing alongside the wagon, you notice an odd creak coming from the linkage between the wagon and the oxen's yoke. Having a quick look, you notice a pin that's rattled loose and about to pop out. And you manage to pop it back in place to avert disaster. And the journey
Good as
continues. Who would like to go next?
I can go next with animal handling.
All right.
See if there's any produce or anything. Just kind of like hand feed the oxen while we're moving along.
Well, over the course of the day, Rogar seems to make fast friends with the two beasts of burden that are hauling the wagon, and you actually arrive earlier than expected as a result. Pulling into camp before the sun goes down, Gundren hops off the wagon excitedly, approaches his brothers, who you see seated around the fire. The other dwarves, the two other dwarves that make up their small mining team, Garrett and Bandor, you see around the fire as well. And while Gundren has spring in his step, the others rise slowly. Somber looks on their faces. You can see that Tharden, the older of his two brothers, balding, brown braided hair, has fresh scars on his face and arms. His left hand is bandaged, seems to be missing a couple fingers. He just nods at his brother, extends a hand, and the two clasp arms. Nundro, the smaller, younger of the three, his bushy red-brown hair and beard seems a little less bushy than usual. He looks at his brother, but his eyes return to the ground quickly. Hands folded in his lap as he sits quietly, far less excited than usual. The two miners, both with mugs, sway a little bit as if they've been drinking since noon, and barely acknowledge the arrival of new folk at the camp. Kurt parts ways with you and takes the wagon over to its usual spot, and deals with penning up the oxen for the evening. As you arrive here in camp, what would you all like to do?
What time is it?
It's the equivalent of about 6 p.m. Sun's setting in an hour or so.
I would make sure to grab the keg out of the wagon that I bought specifically for Tharden and Nundro.
At the sight of you and the keg, Tharden brightens up a bit. Oh, it's good to have you back, boy. Bring that over here, we'll take care of it.
I'll place it down next to him.
He looks around the rest of the group. Where's the dwarf?
He's back at town. He's I think he decided to build a temple to kind of appease his god.
Thought you'd be bringing him with what we found in there. Don't know what we'll do without a man of faith.
Well, we did bring another that is a cleric. He's not as trained, I suppose, but he is still a man of faith. And motion towards Kern?
Mm-hmm. You see Kern sort of standing off towards the edge of the camp, almost hiding behind the edge of one of the tents. Awkward look on his face, kind of looking around. Doesn't seem to want to approach the dwarves. And as Tharden sees him, "What the fuck did you bring to my camp?"
Half orc.
Well, then take him halfway back to town and leave him.
He how do I explain this? He was raised with a human father who worshipped Muradin. His clan is not a typical warring orc clan. It's, from what I can tell, no different than people in Phandalin. They don't raid, they don't do any of that. We rescued their clan from another orc clan that had taken them over. Believe me, I wish to have eradicated them all, but I saw the good in them, so I'll vouch for them.
Make a persuasion check.
Where? There it is.
Huh. Well, if you vouch for him, you keep an eye on him. I'll hold you accountable for anything he does around here. But I'll give him a chance to prove himself.
That's all I ask.
Right. Let's see to this keg.
Do we see Timmers or Faust?
Faust,
Anyone?
the tiefling. You don't actually. You had heard that Yanis, the big Northman who was with them, did not make it out of the mine. Timmers and Faust survived, but you don't see them anywhere. If you ask, Tharden would tell you that they're out on a hunt.
Okay.
What's everybody else doing as Rogar helps get settled in? Rogar, by the way, there is with Kurt gone, there's little going on for a meal here. You see them, a couple of dwarven miners are just chewing on cured meats and whatever trail provisions they have stocked up. There's no stew pot cooking or anything.
I can get one going then.
All right. How about everybody else?
Lunalia's gonna go to the nearby stream and see if she can get some fish.
All right. Do you are you gonna catch them by hand or?
Yep. She's gonna stand probably mid-thigh in the middle of the stream, and she'll put her hands in the water and just wait for the fish that she can see to swim by. And when one swims over her hands, she'll quickly scoop it out of the water.
Okay. Go ahead and make a survival check. Noro and Scribble.
Oh, that's
I-
terrible.
Noro's gonna help Lenalia.
Help.
She can teach him how to
Okay.
tickle fish out of the water.
More like curious because of being from the mountains and all that and not knowing much about water other than drinking it. He's just kind of fond of what she's doing and never again still amazed about these other people that do the way they live. And I'm asking her can you show me how you did that?
This is a little more difficult than finding dry firewood like I showed you before. This takes a lot more patience. And so she'll explain to him you gotta stand in the water and be very, very still. She'll show him what to do with his hands. And to patiently wait for a fish to swim right within their reach.
I'd say if you two spend some time, the better part of an hour, Noro, you could try a survival check with advantage.
Okay.
Nice.
You wait and you watch like you were told. You wait. And eventually, standing as still as you can, still as the stone of the mountains from which you hail, little fish that scattered when you waded into the water begin to nibble around the stones beneath your feet again. And over time, a larger fish swims by, and another, and an even larger one. The fish in this little pond that's fed by a babbling mountain brook are not large, but they are plentiful. And you wait with your hands submerged. And you wait and you wait, and finally you grab for one, and it just slips out of your grip. But you think maybe next time you can get it.
Nice, and I'm sure like Noro, to his surprise, he's like happy that he almost got one. I was like, and he would make a comment like, it would be nice to learn this because I can't always rely on, I don't know what's in those mountains, but that we eat. Sometimes I gotta fish and gotta know another way. Thank you for teaching me.
Anytime.
How much longer would you guys like to try? I mean, if you stay a little longer, you could roll again. Either each individually or one with the help of the other.
She would go for another half an hour.
Okay. Go ahead and make one more roll. Scribble, what are you doing during this time?
I'd look around the camp to see if there's like a pile of broken tools or anything like that that I could use mending on to help fix up.
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that. There is quite a bit of sundered equipment about. You see over towards the mine entrance, a couple pickaxes with the hafts broken, a wooden shield that is cracked in half, and a few other broken implements. Some of them as a result of wear and tear that you may not be able to repair, and others as a result of what looks like a recent battle. Of course, you've heard of such a battle, so you set to work at that. The sky darkens as the sun sets beyond the horizon. In this narrow mountain valley, it darkens quickly. As the sound of crickets grows and the air cools, the sky darkens and stars begin to peek out from between the clouds. Three figures move through the dusky, dim light, one shorter than the other two. They spy off in the distance the flicker of campfire light from a low cliff's edge. And as they make their way towards the ramping, winding trail, Louis, what are you doing?
So you see this little old gnome. He's just a hair over 3 feet tall, portly and pudgy, and he's got this massive like book under his arm, and he's pulling a wagon behind him, like just like a little one, like a little like radio flyer wagon type style thing, and it's overflowing with stuff. And you see him walking up towards your camp, and he's kind of like squinting, like trying to see what he can make out from the camp.
flanking him are a pair of soldiers, both of them wearing chainmail, shields, swords at their sides. They are somewhat familiar folk. You might have seen them sitting around a table that Noro sat down at for a bit. One of them is the dangerous-looking mercenary who is there with a visiting dignitary from a foreign land, and the other one seems to be one of his henchmen. The two of them have looks on their faces like they don't really want to be here, but they keep their mouths shut and follow this little gnome closely, hands close to their weapons.
So as I approach, as I come up this road, and it's just Rogar in camp, is that right?
Yeah, I
Or
would
like at the campfire there?
Noro and Lunalia are probably, as you approached, you would have seen. Actually, you know what? Make a perception check. It's while I check your passive. You may have been aware of a couple of figures partially submerged out in the lake, fishing on your way up, but were likely drawn towards the flicker of firelight against the canyon wall, and marched on. As you enter the campsite, you see more than what's on the map here. A tall silver dragonborn tends to a cooking pot near the fire. A half-orc in chainmail, shield and warhammer leaned up against the side of a tent, kind of stands awkwardly at the edge of the firelight, his arms crossed, looking around, not really sure what to do with himself. There is the sound of snoring coming from one of the tents, and a pair of booted dwarven feet stick out the flap, where somebody has called it an early night after one too many ales. An older dwarf sits a few paces away from the dragonborn on a stool, watching him cook, a mug in his hand. Off in the distance, you see a dark figure hunched over a pile of tools, working on something, and near him, a tall, thin man tends to a pair of oxen that he's penned up recently. Around the fire, just a couple of dwarves, this half-orc, and a dragonborn. Lunalia, with your passive perception, you would have noticed the approach of three figures that just sort of passed you without giving you a moment's notice.
Okay. She would say to Noro once she sees them approaching the camp, I think that's enough fishing for one day. It looks like we have camp visitors. Maybe we should come up behind them quietly. Also, I've been notified that the stream seems very quiet.
The stream seems quiet.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do about that. I haven't changed anything.
Okay.
Oh, let's see. Well, I mean, I can just crank the. If it's the voices, then I can just turn up my Discord volume.
It is more specifically you. You apparently are very difficult to hear.
You know, I've had a couple of people say that recently. Give me a sec. Let me just boost my mic.
Well, prepare to have ears blown.
Yeah, my audio meter looks a little lower than yours. Is that any better?
Yes.
Yeah,
Too
I
loud?
just turned you down just a hair on my end.
Yeah, I'll just turn you down on my end. She says this everyone, but you're now very much easier to hear.
Yeah, you know what? I have a feeling I might have turned my output volume down in Discord.
Is it local hot mom talking to you?
Oh, it's Starsha. Giving a shout out to one of our faithful viewers, Starsha.
All right, how about now? Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2.
Studio quality.
Yeah, fine.
Alrighty. So, oh boy, that is spiking a little loud. Hang on.
All of the buttons being pressed now.
Yeah, faders actually. I am gonna turn myself up in Discord instead of the gain on my mixer.
It's
Yeah,
local hot mom coming to our stream.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that would have changed. But that does look a little bit better in the meters too. Okay. Sorry. I think we were at Lunalia and Noro.
Yes, and I had said to Noro that people are approaching camp. That's enough fishing for now. Let's make our way up the hill behind them.
Alrighty.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Louis, Federa, one of the two, the more dangerous looking of the two thugs that have begrudgingly accompanied you, leans closer to you and says, "Hey boss, we got people coming behind us too." You become aware of a pair of figures walking quietly up the path behind you.
I'll stop there at the top of those. We get to ramp up to the camp, and I'll say, hello. My name is Louis. I am looking for the people who kill the red brands.
You gotta give Dark a second. She's in the other room dying
I
laughing.
hear Dark laughing through your microphone as well.
So good. Just so good.
Hello? The red brands. Do you know these men?
How
Oh.
loud is he?
Yeah, like who would be the closest that could hear that?
I mean, Scribble, you'd hear this from where you're at. You're no more than I don't know, 60 feet away or so. Yeah, 60 feet away.
I mean, we're probably only... I don't know how far down that bit of the cliff is.
Scribble, you hear Kurt. Oh, what the fuck is this now?
I think they're looking for you, Kurt.
Fuck. he goes and disappears behind the wagon, hiding in the shadows.
Yes, hello, the Red Brands? Yes, we have dealt with the Red Brands. She says as she's coming up the hill now.
I think I'm gonna back up this way a little bit. You are the people who kill the red brands, the scourge of Fandolin. Oui.
Well, yes, we've dealt with them. Yes.
And also the wizard Albrecht Volker. You know this man.
I'm sorry. What was his name?
Albrecht Volker.
She's gonna turn to Noro, and I don't speak gnomish. Do you?
And it kind of like Nora like kind of peeks and looks at him and like he's squinting his eyes, but he can't register. Like he can't register what he's saying. He's even trying to like tap into uncommon words in you know underdark what is it called?
Undercommon.
Undercommon, and it's not like registering for him. So he's just kind of like shrugging his shoulders, like I don't know, like it's like we should get the bird.
Yes.
How
there's,
common
the-
is this accent?
You know what? Scribble and oh shit, Deebs isn't here anymore. Yeah, Rogar's probably been around enough. The two of you guys could you would spot it as something from the east. Maybe Flame, which is the third city-state in the states of Rydia, the furthest inland. It's
So
common.
you're looking for Albrecht?
yes, that is the man. I heard he was with the Red Lands, and you have disposed of you have killed him.
He's
you-
dead, yes.
Yes. And I turn to Feder and Samnas. Is that the other guy? Yes, these are the people that we were looking for. Excellent. Yes, I am here to exact vengeance upon your heads for the murder of Albrecht Volkel. Yes, prepare to die. And I pull out, I open up this big book, and I say, page 87, please. And the book like flies open, the pages fly past, and as I point to a page, I'm like, and all of a sudden I enlarge to about like 6 feet tall. I was nope, not goes from small to I'm small size. If I was medium, I would have gone to that.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess we need to actually make your token half size, don't we?
I think technically small and medium like take up the same amount of space,
Yeah,
right?
that's
in this,
fair.
but yeah, I am 3 feet tall, but I grow to a massive 6 feet tall and say, I am a very powerful wizard. Prepare for vengeance, and I will make an intimidation check.
Sure, you do you, boo boo.
And you're all very intimidated.
Epic. I mean, are we rolling initiative here? We could roll initiative if you guys wanted to. The two thugs that are with him, they just kind of look at each other, and there's just a groan from one, and a sigh from the other. Swords are drawn slowly, and they kind of turn back to back. And Feder, the Nora, you'd recognize these two. They were sitting at the table when you brought your barrel over and sat down and bought drinks for everybody.
Right.
Feder, the more dangerous looking of the three mercenaries that were at that table, just turns to you and shrugs with sword in one hand and shield in the other and says, I suppose we're doing this. Let's go, big man. There is absolutely no conviction in his voice.
Well, there's no need for that. We didn't kill Albrecht. Well, we did, but it's complicated.
So you admit it.
No, it's not complicated. He threw a fireball at us.
He did start it, yes, but he was not in his right mind. We didn't intend to kill him, and she'll look sort of side eyes at Noro. But things got a little out of hand.
And Nora will add, like, it's kind of obvious that these guys. I don't think that. Can we just sit down by the campfire? Rogar's cooking. let's talk this over. Let's get our stories straight.
Does
Uh,
Louis look intimidating as far as like his clothing or any of the like his weapon or his book or anything? Is it fancy or
I
anything like
love
we would
that
be able to
picture.
tell?
I mean, he's 3 feet tall with a giant book that turns its own pages.
If he hit you with it, maybe it would hurt.
I mean, Scribble, there is definitely an element of the arcane about this individual, and you've been around enough to know not to underestimate people. But I mean, his approach and demeanor speaks for itself. So you tell me if his 9 intimidation check is intimidating to you or not.
Well, so I guess more like a wizard spell book
Mm-hmm.
in general. The more powerful they are, does it like look more fancy or?
it's super fancy. It's really big. It's really thick. It looks really old, and it's literally like that size. Like I mean, it's probably 18 inches,
Yeah, it's like coffee
which
table
is the
book
majority
size,
of my
but
size.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like the size of one of those big coffee table portrait books or art books, but you know, massive, like thick.
But I'm not making any. It doesn't look like I'm about to cast a spell or anything. Like I just cast a spell I just grew, but I'm not like making hostile actions. But I'm very. His demeanor thinks that you should be very intimidated by what you see in front of you.
Norrell is just gonna move to the campfire.
Like right past the 2 mercs.
Yep.
Um, as you walk over to them, Feder sort of blocks your way, and then looking at you, seeing you're unarmed as of yet, just kind of takes a step back, and the 2 of them shuffle over to kind of stand between you and their charge. But they let you pass.
Yeah. Lunalia will move up behind Noro as well.
Well, I'm kind of like hopping up a little bit to see you guys, even with the enlarged spell over like around, like trying to look past and around the 2 mercenaries. But well, use a fireball. Say that does not. No, that was not him. He does not. He does not like fire. In fact, fire damages books. He does not like that. No, that you're incorrect. Yeah, wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure he said that and then cast it. You know, like they do in the I almost said in the anime.
Can I use mirror images to put an image of him with his casting the fireball or looking ridiculous like he did?
You mean oh,
Or minor illusion, sorry.
minor illusion? Yeah, you could minor illusion I guess a still image of that.
Oui, that is him. Well, no, but that does not sound. Okay, I will still exact my revenge upon your little heads, but could you please tell me what exactly transpired here? I do not understand.
Norrell would like to flash the burn scars on his legs.
Oh,
Yes. Yes, that was the damage from the fight. I promise you he did cast that spell, but as I said, he was not in his right mind.
And as Lunalia says that, like Norrell does this gesture with like he puts his hand out, his palm side up, kind of like at a direction of one of the seats or a chair or bench to like come like sit, and listen.
Okay. And so you see me reduce back to my usual size, and there is like a sound of a slide whistle. I wish I had a book. Ew.
Oh, like
As I
that
shrink back
seafarer's
to
whistle from WoW.
yeah. Um, and I like look over at both of them and kind of give them a nod and it's okay. It's okay. And they don't care at all. They are not persuaded by my letting them know it's okay. And I'll move over here and sit by the campfire. That smells. What smells good? What are you cooking for dinner?
Lugar's just looking down, just finger and thumb, pressing the bridge of his nose.
Yeah, next to you, Tharden is just chuckling. You look over at him. You risk a glance at him, and he's biting his tongue to keep from laughing. It's the first time you've seen him laugh in quite some time.
I'm just making a basic stew. Nothing too horribly fancy. But
okay.
there should be enough for all of you, including your mercenary friends.
Oui. That's very nice. Thank you. And I'm still like dragging this like wagon behind me too, and it's overflowing with books and all sorts of just random knickknacks and miscellaneous shit. And then I had these
like little worn wooden wheels on it, right?
yeah. It's literally like an old radio flyer, minus the logo. The like little red wagon. It's like taller than I am and longer than I am. But I'm not having any trouble at all pulling it.
The two mercenaries have they kind of stay back at the edge of the radius of light from the campfire. Fidder spies Kern sort of skulking in the shadows and just kind of lunges at him playfully, and Kern recoils and disappears behind the tent somewhere. The two of them are still making their presence known, but you can see while their swords are still out, they're down at their sides, and they've both relaxed a little bit, seeing that their charge has changed his tone. Gundren comes walking out of the mine entrance. What's all this? Rogar, you didn't tell me you were having friends over.
I wasn't expecting this. Nor do I even know who our friends are.
Apologies. Je suis Louis Lamort, the fabled wizard, the fabled wizard researcher. I am here to exact vengeance for Albert Volker, the murder of mon professeur.
Your
So
professor?
Gundren looks around at all of you. Begging your pardon, sir. Do you speak common?
We just it has been a long time. I'm sorry if I am hard to understand. But this is the common. See, yeah, yes.
Right.
I
Welcome to the
believe-
Rockseeker camp. Not sure how you found your way here, but you shouldn't be here. That being said, since you're here, I suppose we can feed you and send you along your way in the morning.
Well, I would can you tell me? You say that Monsieur Volker was not in his right mind. Can you tell me what you mean by this?
Hold
Well,
on, hold on. He's here for you all and not me?
it seems so. Although, to be specific, it was Noro that killed him.
I should have
Right.
guessed.
Tharden, let's leave these folks to talk. Tharden picks up the remains of his drink and pours one for his brother, and the two of them disappear out of sight around the corner. And ostensibly into the mine entrance, where you know that they will go from time to time to have private conversations. In fact, I believe Rogar has been part of one of those private conversations in the past. And so, you are all left here around the fire.
Yes, we've come to learn that he was under some sort of mind control, or something had gotten at him that had taken over. We do have people looking into it, or we intend to help them with it when we're done here.
I see.
You say he was your professor.
Oui, yes. Long ago, I studied with him. Knowledge is power, and yeah, he was my teacher at university for a long time, and yeah, I just can I honestly, things have been a little tough lately. My library burned down. I didn't really know. My family is all dead. I didn't really know what to do. So Monsieur Vauquer is a great man and was a good friend, a true friend. So I came to find him, and I find out that he was murdered. But it does sounds a little like it was not as malicious as I thought.
I assure you, it was in self-defense.
Did you study blood magic with him?
No, I do not like this thing. No, I study a little of this, a little of that, a petit peu here, petit peu there, but no blood. I don't. It's not
What?
natural.
What is a petit pot?
Just a little bit, un petit peu.
Ah, ah.
Oui. Go ahead.
Have you by chance been to Vandalin recently, or have you come from somewhere else?
Oui. I went to Fandolin and was looking around, asking for Monsieur Vauquer, and I met a nice woman named Lenine. She seemed to be very stricken. But she said that there was a group of people that could that has killed him along with the Rebrands, and I could find you on this road.
This
Yes.
was before. This was before I joined with this group, but from what I've gathered, Lenine has recently gone through the same things that Albrecht has, what Albrecht went through. So I'm surprised she didn't tell you about this whole possession thing.
Oh mon Dieu! uh, yes, she just seems very how do you say, out of it, just not all there. Um, but that all I could get out of her was to find you. But you seem nice. I didn't tell her I was looking to exact vengeance upon your heads.
Ah, that's perhaps why she
So
told you.
yeah, oui. I can be very persuasive when I need to be. And you see the two mercenaries like roll their eyes so hard behind me.
Neither of them look like they want to be here. They look like they were asked to follow this guy and keep him from, falling in a hole, or losing any more of his height.
How much did this guy pay you to come with him?
Feder just looks at you and shakes his head. Not enough.
So I buy you drinks, and then you do this.
You and I can still go, big man. He looks over sort of towards the open area to your right. If you wish.
Last time we were here, you were looking for a wrestling match, Noro.
Enough talk.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Make a persuasion check. Or intimidation, your choice.
I'll do intimidation.
Wow. Let's see. Oh.
I start moving my arm.
He starts loosening up his shoulders and walks over your way casually. Holds his sword and shield sort of out to the sides. We going to dance?
Dance, I thought you guys were going to wrestle.
Go ahead and roll initiative if you want, Noro.
The rolls are on fire.
I'll just put Noro's portion off to the side.
With a heavy sigh.
Yep, just. I imagine probably just dishing out the stew. Just, alright, I guess I'll save this for later.
Noro just says, let's see if you're going to earn your pay today.
All right. Well, as he sort of steps towards you, you have an opportunity to go first. What are you doing?
Just going to grapple him.
Alrighty. Make that athletics check. Fuck.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
You lunge in, hands at the ready, catching him by surprise. He thought you might draw a weapon first, and you manage to get hands on him right away. What are you doing with your second attack action?
How far can I drag him?
Up to half your movement, if I remember correctly.
Okay, so I want to bring him here.
Well,
Oh no.
yeet. Yeah, go ahead and move yourself to that position, and I'll move him with you accordingly. Yeah, so you've got him, and you push him sort of right towards the edge of the cliff. And let's just kick on a little bit of fun fight music here, just for fun.
So I'm just holding him there, and I just ask him, at this point, are we even? I'm kind of holding him towards the edge. Like I could easily boot him over, but I don't want to.
He just grins as you walk him over to the edge and say that. Not likely. And he attacks you.
Oh, nice.
It says mace. It's actually a short sword, but it's the same damage. The short sword in his right hand, he tries to swing it at you, misses the first time, but catches you in the ribs the second time as it strikes home, doing 8 points of slashing damage.
Oh, 8 points.
You keep holding me, I keep carving on you. I think you see how this works.
Neuro says, I wish you hadn't done that. I'm going to rage.
Oh, boy.
Lunalia in the background says, I wish you hadn't done that.
What are you doing?
And I guess, so I'm like holding him over the cliff. At this point, I'm just like, I just kind of very like the movie The 300. This is Sparta, except this is Rockseeker Camp or something. And I'm gonna give him the big boot in the chest over the cliff.
All right. Go ahead and let's see. You can make an athletics check to, I guess that's a shove attack, to try and shove him off the cliff. Yeah, and he goes. Oh, let's. You know what? You know what's fun about this? I get to use my falling damage macro. He takes 6 points of bludgeoning damage and lands, as we say in Flame, le prone.
Le prone.
Ah, oui.
And since I'm raging, I am turning around now and looking at Samnus.
You do have a second action plus your movement, so
Man.
do with that as you will.
Okay, so I'm checking on Samnus. I want to see what Samnus is doing.
He was sort of leaned up against the side of the tent, watching and chuckling, thinking his friend was going to carve you up, and the expression on his face changed from glee to oh shit. He turns 3 shades of white and fumbles for his sword as he sees you turn to him with a grin on your face.
All right, so seeing that he's fumbling, he's not really a threat, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my way down to where Feder is.
Are you hopping down, or are you?
Oh yeah, I'm hopping down.
All right, it's a distance. It's 20 feet. So go ahead and make a acrobatics check, athletics or acrobatics check, your choice.
Nice.
There is a cushion down there.
Jeez. Yeah, you make it.
Neuro doesn't care at this point.
Hey RF, Mr. Veteran 5e player, help me out here. Rules is written. There isn't much for avoiding landing prone when you fall, right? But if you initiate the fall yourself, if it's a reasonable distance, would you allow a roll to pick how you land?
Hell yeah, do it however, I don't know, if he wants to freaking jump then land on this dude, then the guy takes falling damage. I don't know, whatever, whatever Nora wants to do. But I definitely think if you're planning on it, then
Like if somebody
take a
throws you
little
off a
bit of
cliff,
damage.
you land prone.
Right.
That's pretty straightforward. But if you jump off a cliff and it's anything less than a big painful landing, you should be able to at least you might still take the damage, but you could roll to halve it or
Yeah,
have
makes
it
sense to
and,
me.
yeah. So I'd say if you initiate it, it's an athletics check against I don't know, a DC of maybe 10. The DC equal to the number of feet, because anything more than 20 feet, you're not going to land it well. Yeah, Noro, you land at the bottom of the cliff, next to Feder, or on him if you want.
Next to him.
Okay.
And then I proceed to grab him and start dragging him towards the river.
All right. Well, you land next to him, and that's your movement. Go ahead and grapple him again. It's with advantage this time. Well, you've already got advantage. He's prone, and he's going to attempt to avoid your grapple with a 9 because my rolls are amazing. Good. You do have roughly half your movement left. You could probably move him another 10 feet if you wanted to. So go ahead and move, and I'll have him keep up with you. So you begin to drag him that way. The turn is back to him. He does stand up.
Can I just prepare a reaction, a spell, if the other guard starts looking like he's going to interfere?
Yeah, actually, go ahead and get in on the initiative here. And I will put Samnus in the order as well, because this might actually be turning into a thing. Ooh, nice roll. On Federer's turn, he, despite your grip on him, manages to get to his feet, and he just says, "Where are you taking me?" As he attempts to slice into you a couple more times with his sword, hitting the second time, dealing 6 halved to 3 slashing damage. It's nicks. I mean, he's barely drawing blood at this point.
Right.
I'll just sorry. Let me throw Louis and Samnus in the same turn there. There we go. Louis, what were you preparing?
Just if Saminus looks like he's going to interfere,
Oh, he is.
then I will cast Levitate on him.
So he begins to move towards the edge of the cliff. He draws his sword and readies his shield, and looks to be either deciding to jump down after his friend or to maybe run the long way around, at which point the rest of you see his feet leave the ground and begin wobbling beneath him as he rises
Well, he
off
does
the ground. How many feet?
I'll take him. He does get a con save of DC 16 if he is an unwilling creature.
No.
So he starts flying. He goes up 20 feet in the air. I say,
The whole distance. Oh, amazing.
Yeah. I do not think so.
And I just let Feder know that we're going to go cool off.
You know what? It occurs to me that oh, there we go. I was gonna say I turned his icon upside down and I didn't see it on the stream window, but there it went. What?
But before
put me down! Put me down! Nora, it's back to you.
I just tell him that we're going to go cool off, but before we do, and I drag him again towards this tree stump.
Okay. You drag him over to the tree stump.
And I want to bash his head in it.
Oh God.
All
Kind of
right.
like very, very wrestler into the post type of head smash.
Yeah, make I mean, the easiest way to do that is just have you make another athletics check, another grapple check. To do bludgeoning damage, we'll call it, the equivalent of falling damage, the D6. And he is going to attempt to avoid it, and he does not manage to break your grapple. You bash his head into the stump, and I'm just gonna, to keep it simple, we'll just, not that, sorry. We'll just call it the same as falling damage. A D6 bludgeoning for 2 points. As you crack his head against the stump. There's a loud crack, and you see blood begin to pour from his temple. His eyes roll back in his head for a second, and he shakes it off. And for your second action,
I drag him to the next edge.
and
Let him fall over.
all right, make another athletics check, which I will, fail against. Yep. Yeet.
Yeet.
Over the next cliff, and yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the map I made after I learned about your love for throwing things over the edges of things. And now I'm regretting it. Another 10 points of falling damage for another 2 bludgeoning, and he lands prone. He is beginning to look a little roughed up. The landing is hard. He drops his sword and shield as he lands, sort of, tucking to land on one shoulder, and you see him starting to get up. I see Scribbles added himself to the initiative order. If anybody else wants to get in on this or anything else, please feel free. Sorry, I just have to reset the initiative window because mine got a little buggy.
Lunalia's gonna walk over to Rogar and ask, could I have another bowl, please?
Rogar will just pass you the ladle and go for his pack.
Hmm.
I'm gonna get in on this.
Louis, anything with
Nope. I'm just gonna crack open my book and start paging through it. Oh, is there soup? There is soup.
Yeah,
There is soup,
Lunalia,
yes.
seeing you have a look, would dish some out for you.
Merci.
I say,
And I will
ignore
walk
them.
over and
Noro
and
gets
get-
this way sometimes.
walk
This is
over and
some
get some soup and
vengeance.
sit back down. But I'll keep concentrating on the levitation. I'll let that guy. Bonus action will take him up another 20 feet. Why not?
Oh, fuck.
all right, so Samus is now 40 feet off the ground. It's a one-time. Let's see, unwilling creature that succeeds is unaffected. Yeah, so it's a one-time save. Once he's in the air, he's yours.
Yep.
Are you even looking his way, or do you just sort of wave a hand off in his direction nonchalantly?
No, just like over the shoulder.
Nice.
Just flick it up when he rises up.
Is the book still floating in front of you, open to a page, or?
No, I close it to get up and walk away, and then sit back down, and I open it back up, and I'm manually flipping through it.
Okay. Well, Rogar.
So I'm gonna walk over to my pack and grab my fishing rod.
Okay.
I'll move 30 feet to there, where I saw Kern walk off to, and just Is he there watching?
He's there, and yeah, he's watching Noro and this other guy fight, and you look, and he's got a grin spreading across his face as he's watching Noro manhandle this guy who intimidated him just a minute earlier.
So yeah, Rogar will just mention to Kern, the food's ready if you want to eat anything while watching this. Also, if you have any healing spells handy, I'd rather not make enemies. Though this is entertaining.
Yeah, you're damn right it is. Scribble anything, or are you
I'm just gonna walk over here and get a better better view.
Yeah, you walk over the thug floating 40 feet over your head, and you manage to see Noro just as he hops over the edge of the second shallower cliff there. Only about a 10-foot drop, and you can see sort of his head and shoulders there. Feder gets to his feet again, no longer grappled by Noro as he was chucked. Oh yeah, well, let's just make a roll to see what he decides to do. He takes a step to the side, and with his sword and shield still up, he pulls back into a little bit more defensive stance and just says, "All right, I think you proved your point. You like to throw
He
people
dropped
around."
them.
Yeah, he picked them up.
Oh.
You proved your point. You like to throw people around. Draw your weapon and fight me, or let's call this done.
Throw him in the lake.
And he's gonna ready an action. He readies the dodge action.
Okay.
Samnus waves his arms around wildly in the air. Noro, what are you doing?
After hearing what Feder says, Noro just looks at his hands and says, "These are my weapons." And he continues to go after to grapple him again.
All right, make another grapple check. Watch me fail. God damn it.
So humiliating for this guy.
And at this point, I'm gonna do a very discus-like move to throw Feder into the water. Kind of swing him one time to get some leverage and just create momentum, and just hook him.
All right. Let's have you make another athletics check. It's basically a shove action, but if you throw a little movement in there, sure, I'll let you chuck him a little ways. Again, RF, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's any rules for chucking people in the book. Storm King's Thunder's got a little something for giants throwing people, but I think. Ooh, not as good. Oh, maybe this is his opportunity to shine. Hey, look at that.
Oh.
As you go to throw him, he manages to get a foot into your gut and push off of you, nimbly rolling away, and comes up to his feet, a distance away from you. You manage to kind of get a little momentum into him, but he breaks out of your throw sort of mid-throw and tumbles to his feet. Louis.
Yeah, Samnus will move down 15 feet and then up another 5 feet. Just noodling him around.
All right,
And again, not even paying attention, just one finger off to the side, pointing at him. And I'm, my book's open on my lap, and I'm having some stew.
So now he's down 15 and up 5, 30 feet off the ground.
Yes.
Flailing wildly, shouting at anybody who will listen, "Get me the fuck down from here! I don't like to fly!" Rogar.
I'll move to about there and start swinging my fishing rod to cast the bobber at Samnus up in the air.
Ooh.
I'm going fishing upwards,
Uh,
if at all possible.
all right. Go ahead and make a. Oh God, what would you even make with that? That's a. Well, survival.
Is a
Survival
fishing
check?
pole a finesse weapon?
Yeah, it kind of is, right? Like it's not strength, you know. It's make a.
Well, isn't it? It's more like a tool.
Yeah, the question is I mean, like everything in this game is an ability plus a proficiency, an ability or an ability plus a proficiency, right? The big question is he proficient in it? Do you have anything that would make you proficient with a fishing rod? I guess cooking, right? Your
I
background
guess.
as a cook. I mean, it's part of your character background, and the pole is something your character came loaded with at your request. So, yeah, go ahead and make a Dex plus proficiency check to
Oh,
try
no.
and hook him. And if that's too tough, just roll Dex and manually add +3.
Yeah, I'll just roll dex. It's +3, so 19.
You've hooked yourself a dude.
I'll just start reeling in to slowly lower him.
All right. As you do that, you become aware of a large, dark shape. Linalia, with your passive perception, you would notice the sound of pebbles rattling down the cliffside, sort of off to the west. And then there's a sound. Something lurches off the canyon wall. At the same time, Rogar, you see a dark shape move very quickly. And there's a flash of white in the air as Samnus is plucked away in massive scaled claws.
Uh-oh.
The shape as it comes into view 30 feet over the campsite, lit from the fire, an orange-white, the underbelly of a white dragon, one that you've only seen at a distance. Samnus shrieks and is yanked hardly away from you all as line begins to pull from your rod.
Shit. Fuck. Do I... It's technically a magic item, so I don't know if the line would snap very easily, so could I make a strength check to try and fight it? Like, trying to catch a giant fucking fish?
Oh boy, you know
You
what?
could cut the line.
You can. Holy
If
crap!
I cut the line, Samnus is dead. He's being eaten.
These are the questions that we need to answer. What is the test weight on a magic fishing pole's line in D&D 5th edition? I need to know these things. Yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check. Let's have you roll against the dragon.
Nope, Samnus is dead. He's so dead.
Rip.
So the question is the well, I know what the question is. The question is really more, is the pole yanked out of your hands, or would the hook just tear free from whatever piece of clothing it had hooked on? And that's the more likely one of the two, right? I'm not
Right.
going to take your magic fishing pole away from you just because you rolled low against a dragon. The hook tears free. The pole is also yanked from your hands and lands just a few feet away from you. as the dragon begins to fly off with the levitating man. And Louis, lateral motion is not blocked by the spell, but what about up and down?
I don't think it's blocked by it, but maybe I could like contest it, like try to use it to rip it out of his claws. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a
I've
little
never
weird.
been
Eh?
in
Like,
this situation before.
like the levitate spell, there's nothing on it actually like holding the person in that position. It just lifts them up. If so, you know, I've seen like people get levitated and then can be pushed around with gusts of wind, or you know can pull themselves along a rope, or can use a very long stick to push themselves around. But what about up and down? What about being forcefully yanked about? I have a feeling that he would just get pulled along by the dragon and the spell wouldn't have much effect. You could, on your turn, given the spell's active on him and you're concentrating on it, I'd say you could try and maybe make a spellcasting ability check to try and.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be like int for me versus the dragon's strength. I
Yeah,
would think,
that works.
but,
I'll do that.
I lost the initiative tracker on my screen.
Yeah, it's because I
don't
have
know.
a habit of closing it, and I shouldn't, because it closes it for everybody, which is stupid. And not only does it do that, it also repositions it on the stream. So, shame on me. I should also put this big guy in the initiative order with his dex of 10. That's not what I meant to do. That was Samnus. He was a 3, wasn't he? Yeah, so indeed, as this happens, you are next. So go ahead and make that roll.
I'm up right now.
Yes, you are. And if there's something else you'd rather do, please do. But I imagine everybody's somewhat in shock by this massive dragon that just appeared, and it's large, like quite large.
Okay, it looks like it is my action to do that, which is fine, to move him on my turn. But yeah, so I'm just going to do a spell attack roll, I guess.
Yeah, that'll work. I will contest it with a strength check, just barely. You now, shocked into attention, reach up and pull down with a grasping motion with your hand, and you can feel him move, and you see him move a bit, but the dragon's talons dig into him. There's a squeal of pain from the man as he holds him firm, continuing to fly off with him. Any movement or bonus action from you?
I will spring up, and then as a bonus action, you see hop out of my wagon, a little like transparent, like tiny, like transparent. It's literally like a book with like eyes and eyebrows up above it, and like hands and arms, and it's gonna run out. It's gonna run out to like here. So
What is this in game mechanics so I can get a token for it?
oh yeah, this is my manifested mind ability. So it conjures forth the mind of my awakened spellbook.
I have no idea what kind of token to use for that. Is that that's part of your subclass from Tasha's?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There may not be a Roll20 token out there for it yet. You know what? I got an easy thing we can do. I can copy paste you shrink you down to half size, and nope. Come on. There we go. And let's just yeah, you should have control over that guy.
Cool.
think.
I'm just gonna move him here.
Cool. Alrighty. Sorry, Scribble. It is to you, and Lunalia, you probably want to roll initiative at this point, because, you know, dragon.
Yeah, as soon as she sees the dragon, she's gonna yell out to Noro, "Quit fucking around! There's a dragon!"
So did he grab him and like go to fly off?
Yeah, so the dragon was up on the cliff face, hiding, watching, and perked up as soon as he saw a juicy target float up in the air, and then when it floated up higher and started bobbing around, he was like, oh yeah. And he swooped in and grabbed him.
We fished it.
Yeah. Yeah, you fished a dragon.
In all of Rogar's years of fishing, I don't think he's ever caught something this big.
Oh, that's awesome. Give me a second here to get Lunalia on. Please remember to click your token before you roll initiative. There we go, and we'll put the 2 in there instead, and put you in the right order. And got it. Scribble, you're up. There is a dragon 35 feet above your head, flying left to right on the map very quickly.
And it's flying like right,
Yeah,
so flying
he's-
away.
Yeah, he came off the cliff wall to the west and swooped down and grabbed Samnus, and he is flying off in this direction.
I'm gonna go over here and kind of hide behind this rock and cast Mage Armor, or yeah, with the staff.
Cool. There is a shimmer of light that surrounds the Kenku, leaving a dull bluish sheen about him. Oh boy, Fedor rolls a natural 1, doesn't really realize what's going on, and takes another couple steps back from Noro. Samnus screams in pain. Lunalia.
Yeah, she's a little worried seeing this dragon, but there's so many people around in a state of confusion. She's going to start swirling her hands, forming clouds 120 feet up,
Oh shit.
and she will cast Call Lightning.
Oh shit. The stars begin to wink out as clouds gather in the sky overhead. And within a few seconds, the crackles of lightning can be seen. A peal of thunder and a bright light as a bolt comes down on the dragon, and it makes a dexterity saving throw. That's not the saving throw. This is, and that is a public roll. It spins mid-air, its wings whirling about it as the lightning bolt arcs down. That halves the damage, is that correct?
On a successful, yeah.
Mhm. And what's the lesser damage? Is that for area effect?
I'm not sure what that is.
Well, it would tell you in the spell description.
Yeah, I'm looking at the spell description.
There we go. Okay. 3d10 lightning damage. I suppose that's the extra d10. It is. If you mouse over it, it says rolling 1d10. So that's the extra d10. If
It's if you're outdoors and it's already stormy weather.
there is already a storm. Yeah. Which there isn't. Got it. Okay. So he takes half of 18 or 9 points of damage. As he misses the majority of the lightning bolt that comes down, setting the grass near the campfire alight. You can see little bits of electricity arcing over his wings and torso as the dragon is clipped by it, but he is still moving. There is a shriek and a roar. Anything else?
No.
All right.
She's just gonna shout for everyone to get inside the cave.
Noro. You hear Lunalia shout. I'll leave it up to you whether in your rage you notice her shout as well as what's going on above you, or if you are focused on Feder.
Even though I'm raging, I'm not really focused on Fideris because it's not really a real fight to Noro. Would it be fair to, I guess, notice the shadow being casted by this dragon's wings or something, and the shrieking?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a stir going on, and everyone's shouting, and Samnus is screaming in pain, and yeah, there's it's enough for you to turn and look, unless you were razor focused on your target.
Okay, and seeing this, and also hearing Lunalia, and recognizing her voice, he's gonna start sprinting back.
Alrighty, go ahead and
Let's see here.
go ahead and do your movement. I'm assuming you're going to use your attack action to run, to dash.
Yeah, and I just tell Feder, another time we have bigger problems.
He kind of looks at you, and then he looks up and sees what's going on, and his demeanor changes. Louis.
Yeah, so the dragon's still like right there.
Yeah, I mean he's moving, but he would have used his first turn to get there and grab the guy, and his
Got it.
he is actually next in the initiative order. So
Oh mon dieu! I exclaim, and then my book flies open. I say, page 193, please, and I point to it, and then yell out, "Pardon-moi, please drop him, s'il vous plaît," and I cast suggestion. So he needs to make a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
does he now? He does not.
So then,
worded in such a manner as to make the course of action sound reasonable. Pursues the course of action you describe to the best of its ability. You can continue for the entire duration. Yeah, so I mean, you can concentrate on it for up to 8 hours, but you basically don't need to, given he completes your request. Is that all you're going to ask, just for him to drop?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I guess I can only. I will. Please drop him and then leave.
All right. All right. Cool. Okay. So he fails that, and Pursues the course of action. Yeah.
So unfortunately, it is concentration. So I do lose concentration on the levitate spell though.
Yeah, you do, and he won't pursue your course of action until next turn either.
Right. Well, yeah. So he will, on his turn, he will pursue what I've asked him to do.
Yeah.
That does not happen immediately.
Nope. And so, unless there's anything else you're going to do with your turn,
Wouldn't my turn happen before the dragons?
you're correct. Let me fix the order here. Come on.
Could I make a
Why?
perception check and hear
There
what
we go.
the gnome is saying and potentially react to it?
Yeah, no, you heard him say it, so on your turn, which it is now.
Could I get under the dragon to prepare to catch Samnus?
Absolutely.
I will do so then. I don't know where to put myself in order to.
I mean, he's literally grabbed him, and because D&D happens, sequentially, it's really hard to say. Like realistically, he would already be off over the edge of the cliff. But you could hold your action to make an athletics check to try and catch Samnus and essentially break his fall.
Yeah,
Depending on
I'll do that
how well
then.
you do. All right. Anything else, or that's it?
Nope, that's it.
Probably want to move yourself somewhere thereabouts.
Okay.
On the dragon's turn, its head turned to the side after it spins around, getting clipped by the lightning bolt. It looks back down at Louis and seems to acknowledge the words. The man clutched in its grasp is suddenly free-falling as the dragon continues to move left to right. He's got, 80 feet of movement? Oh, good lord. Yeah, 80 feet of movement. I'll just put him at the edge of the map here. Rogard, go ahead and make an athletics check to catch Samnus. The man falling through the air with momentum.
Oh my god.
Unfortunately, he misses your grasp. And what are we at? 30, 50 feet of falling damage as he lands down here. Wow, that's only 10 points of bludgeoning. That's surprising. As he falls and lands prone at the bottom of the cliff. Rolling to a stop, you see his prone body just limp. And that was massive damage. Yep. Federa on his turn is just going to sprint.
Continue drowning himself in the water.
No, he's sprinting back to help defend. Scribble, the dragon appears to be flying away. It dropped the man and is flying off, not even looking over its shoulder.
And how far down is it?
35 feet up from where you stand, and 90 feet away from you.
Oh no, I was wondering over to like the ground to Samnus. Like, is that 30 feet?
Oh, sorry. It's a 20-foot cliff there,
Oh, okay.
and the cliff below that is 10 feet.
Ah. And so he was flying off, and looks like he's not planning on returning, or?
Yeah, he drops Samnus and just bolts. There is a rush of wind that reaches you all as the beast flaps its wings powerfully and just speeds off.
All right. Well, I'll just head back to my stool then.
All right. Yeah, Samnus stands up on his turn, and Lunelia, it's back to you.
She's going to run over to the cliff's edge. She can see Samnus down on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There is sign of life. You see him grow. You hear him groan and see him sort of roll over, looking up.
yeah, she's going to. Is this cliff down sheer or does it slope?
You could climb up it. You could carefully try and slide down it.
Yeah, she's gonna try and like sideways slide down beside Samnus.
Yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Oh, I'm terrible at those.
Yeah, you are. It's rough. You take half of that, but you land at the bottom, and not prone. So you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage, but land
Okay.
roughly on your feet.
So she's gonna start checking Samnus over, but she's also periodically glancing up to make sure that the dragon is indeed leaving.
And it is. At this point, unless there's anything else anybody wants to do in the dragon's direction, it is between 60 and 90 feet away, depending on where you're at. We can end combat for now. We'll see what happens after. Well, I suppose the wizard can hold concentration on that spell for a while, can't he?
Up to 8 hours.
8 hours. Yeah.
And that was a pretty simple direction to drop the guy and leave. I'd say that it's simple enough that as the spell says, the suggested course of action can continue for the entire duration. I mean, it wasn't leave and don't come back, but I'd say it'd be enough for. You would think that the spell, given you hold your concentration, would buy you some reprieve. As you see it disappear off into the distance. The roiling storm cloud above still swirling.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on Samnus.
Okay.
At second level.
As combat comes to a close, you heal Samnus. Whoops. There we go. You heal Samnus back up. He slowly gets to one knee and just says, "Thank you. That was. I don't want that to happen again. Oh, I thought I was done." You see a figure standing frozen on the cliff's edge above you, Kern, watching the dragon fly away. Just standing there, a look of shock on his face, terrified.
Come on, let's go up. I think maybe everyone should be in the cave tonight. And she'll start helping him back up to the fire.
All right. What are all the rest of you doing? Fidare catches up with you, Noro, keeping an arm's length away from you. Not more than 5-10 seconds later, as you approach the camp. The dragon now gone. The threat ended. You gonna roll on your table? Boots.
Remembering Lenalia's trusty necklace of wonderful lavender soap. I kind of not looking at Federa, but kind of looking away and just smelling my my trinket, helping me relax.
All right. Well,
All is normal.
as you calm down, Federa watches from a short distance away, and you see his stance relax as well as he sees you calming down. Rogar, from where you're at the cliff's edge, you see the two down below heading back, and you look over, and Kern is standing there with a shocked look on his face, just shaking in his boots as he watches the dragon that killed his family fly away.
Do we know that's the dragon that killed his family?
You know a white dragon killed his family and drove his clan out of their hold on Icespire Peak.
Right.
Can't be that many white dragons about.
True.
The half-orc just slowly, after a long minute, sits down in the grass there, staring off towards the way the dragon left.
This stew is so delicious. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, I don't know what you did to it, but mwah, delicious.
You notice
Rogar's just AFK for a second.
the booted feet of the drunken dwarf who was passed out in one of the tents have disappeared. The flap is pulled back, and a pair of glittering eyes peek out. Is it gone?
Yes, for now.
Right. Oh, come on, Bandor. We're sleeping in the cave tonight. You see the two of them, one of them still staggering drunk, and the other one a little tipsy. Grab a few things, their bedrolls and a few other things in a bundle, and make their way off to the mine entrance. A minute later, Gundren and Tharden come out from the mine, Nundra with them, and the three dwarves are looking about. Gundren says, "Well, it's good to see he didn't cause any damage. It's a big one." Tharden says, I haven't seen that one about, not up close. Thought we saw him at a distance a while ago, off towards the next peak, but we didn't think he'd bother us here.
We've heard a few others speak about seeing him.
Aye. Well, now we know he's a problem. As if we
If you
didn't have
don't
enough to
mind,
deal with.
would it be alright if we all slept in the cave tonight?
Aye, there's room, and it's safe enough. I don't know if that big beastie could fit in there, but if he did, there'd be no way out. So, mind that.
Oh, I won't be sleeping in there. I'll sleep at the mouth, but I won't sleep in there.
Gundren says, we sealed up the entrance a little ways in, right? I mean, after what we found inside, it's all we could do to stay alive. We didn't want the dead pouring out of there.
Oh, that's not the issue. I don't like being underground.
Oh. Not trying to back out on our deal, are you?
Owning a mine doesn't mean I'll be doing the digging.
We didn't ask you to dig. We asked you to kill.
That is something that has to be taken care of. Tonight, I don't have to sleep in a mine.
Right then. You, wee man.
Moi?
Yeah, wow. Listen, Mr. Moi. How'd you like to lend a hand? Saw what you did from across the way there with that dragon. Fancy magics and all.
Uh, what? What? To lend a hand with what?
Well, allow me to properly introduce myself. My name is Gundren. We are the Rockseeker brothers. These are my brothers, Thardan and Nundro. Thardan's the muscle, Nundro's the brains, and I'm the savvy. Some time ago, we set out to discover the location of this lost mine. The lost mine of Fandelver. 500 years ago or so, the mine disappeared. Its entrance buried under a mountain. Many people have tried to find it over the years, and, well, let's just say we're luckier than most. Smarter, too. Got a lead on where it might be, and after prospecting these hills for a few months, thought we found it. That on top of, and he looks towards Noro, another interesting tidbit led us in the right direction, and here we are. Slight problem, well, one of a few, but the only one left we have to tackle is the mine's current residence. It's filled with the dead, and not the friendly kind either. My brothers and our help stumbled upon more than they could handle. Lost one. Barely made it out before we were able to collapse the entrance. Won't take long to dig it back out, but we need some help putting to rest those who don't rest within. It won't be easy, but I think I can make it worth your while. After watching what you did with that dragon, if a friend's here, I'll have you. Maybe you could weave a little of your magic to help them. Shouldn't take long.
Oui, c'est possible. I could do this. I could help. And I think that we have a little more to discuss about my vengeance, but yeah, I do not have anything better to do. So oui.
Thardan grumbles something in Dwarvish. Anyone who speaks Dwarvish would probably ignore his words, as there's nothing kind in them. Gundren shuts him up quickly. And good. Well, what do you prefer? Gold up front, or a percentage of the mine's profits, perpetual?
Percentage, most likely. What kind of percentage?
He looks around at the others. 3.
May I think on it?
Sure.
Excellent. Sorry, what time is it right now?
It's well, I don't know. The sun's gone down. It's been a couple hours. Yeah, let's say it's 8 o'clock, 8:30. That's still early enough. Nobody's really ready for bed except for the couple of dwarves who'd been drinking since noon.
I will let you know in the morning.
Aye. Sleep on it, let me know. As for the rest of you, if you have nothing else planned, we can look towards opening the mine back up tomorrow. Does that give you enough time to prepare?
I think so.
Right then, Rogar, what's for dinner? I've missed your cooking.
Well, I didn't really want to keep you guys waiting, so I just made a simple stew.
Always good.
Should be hearty enough.
Aye, aye. Come on, brothers. Let's have some stew. Leave these folk to talk. They each take turns dishing themselves out a rather large bowl and retire back to the mine's entrance where they disappear out of sight. As you're all gathered about, Feder grabs a stool and drags it over and sits down next to Louis and just kind of leans in and says, "Hey, the boss said keep an eye on you, but I don't think we want a part of what comes next. Are you gonna be okay here?"
Oui, you have proved your worth, but I no longer have the need of your services. So, here, thank you very much for the escort, but now you can return to town. And I'll give them 30 gold each.
Oh shit!
Holy crap!
My apologies for, the dragon and the, guy throwing you off a cliff twice.
No, it's okay. I asked for that. I didn't ask for the dragon, but this more than makes up for it. Thank you.
Of
I
course.
I misjudged you a bit.
It's
Can
very
Lunalia
common.
hear this?
Yeah, unless Louis trying to be, quiet about it, sure.
Not at all. Not at all, as in I was not trying to be quiet about it at all.
Oh, okay. You said your boss. Who is your boss?
You wouldn't know him if you're not familiar with the East.
Ah,
He looks at Noro across the campfire and says, "You met him. Short halfling man. At the table. You bought him a drink."
Yes.
He didn't say much, but he's a bit of a big deal where we're from. Louvel Rafan. He represents a few wealthy investors. He was here hoping to entice these Rockseeker brothers into partnering with him, but it looks like you folk have all beat him to it.
Yeah, he told us at the table that he wanted to find out the location. We told him we would tell him once we find him. But we didn't.
Yeah, well, it seems like you already knew. But I suppose I've been paid well enough to keep my mouth shut. I'll let him figure it out on his own. I'm just here to
Wait,
keep...
so Hummer, that's not the Silas guy, right?
No.
No, that was Keldon. That was Keldon Reinhold from Lion Shield Trading Consortium. Louvel Rafan was the stout halfling fellow that sat at the table with him and just kind of glared at him when he was talking to Noro.
Right. He was one or two word answers.
Yeah. He
Get
basically,
out of
like,
the way.
the two of them were talking business, and you showed up, and he's like, "Who the hell is this riffraff and didn't really want to deal with you at all. Feder just says, "Look, I'm paid well to keep rich men who can't fight out of trouble. The better I'm paid, the less I care about the other things they do. So, all of this, I didn't see anything. We helped Louis. We got him to where he went safely. He did what he wanted to do. We came back." He looks at Louis. "Good enough?"
C'est parfait. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.
Well, let you and Monsieur Raffan sort out any other details between the two of you. I saw nothing else. And he stuffs the gold into a pouch and pats it. "We'll be off in the morning. It won't be any trouble to you. Wouldn't mind sharing the cave, though, for the night. I think Samnus there would prefer not to fly again." He grins broadly. Samnus just shakes his head. No. I'm for the cave. I think I'll go now." He looks up to the skies nervously. And Feder just says, "Hey, Louis, you think whatever you did to scare that thing off will hold?"
We for a little while. At least until we go to sleep tonight. But the cave, that sounds very wise.
Isn't that dragon going to be fairly mad when your spell wears off?
It's a problem for future you.
Oui. So maybe we are not here when he comes back.
That is probably for the best. Let's just hope he doesn't come looking for us.
Yes, I'm sorry. I do not know if that was, the best idea, but I have traveled all day. I did not feel like fighting a dragon right now, So, yeah, hopefully we are good.
What is Louis' disposition like after having seen a dragon up close, maybe for the first time?
Definitely the first time that he's seen one, yeah. But I've seen many. I've read very extensively. In fact, and he goes over to his wagon and starts like digging through all the books. And I know in here somewhere, I have a book all about the dragons. Yeah, just un momento, and he and rifles through it for a few minutes, and I cannot find it right now, but oui, I've seen dragon many times in the books. That did not seem so bad. He just left. We told him to leave. He left.
I don't think it normally goes that well.
C'est possible, but you have me, so you're welcome. And like I said, very powerful wizard.
Yes, of course.
So you have mentioned something of the madness, and you said that you would be looking into this some. What who yeah who is looking into this? Is this you or somebody else?
Well, it's an issue that needs to be resolved. We believe there's something going on under Tressendar Manor. The woman that you spoke to in town, Lenine, is very interested to get this issue resolved. perhaps a little too interested. It seems whatever madness came over Albrecht has taken Lenine as well. Or at least it's
Yeah.
begun to.
I see. There, there is another wizard I heard of, Paramon, Paramon. Try to mimic what you think it might sound like.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Paramon?
Paramon. Yes.
Oui, yeah, Paramon. I heard he was spent some time with Monsieur Foucault as well. Have you spoke to him?
Well, that's well. There's
He's
a bit of it.
currently busy.
There's a bit of an issue there. Strangely enough, involving another dragon.
How many dragons do you have?
I myself have no dragons.
Seems like there are many dragons.
It seems that there are a number of them in the area, unfortunately.
Let's see.
Anyway, this new dragon, seems to have collected this wizard and is unwilling to part with him.
C'est un problème. What? How do you think we can? Well, do you have a plan for how to get him back? Is this something you are interested in?
I have plans in place to free this Paramon.
We're working on something.
C'est bon. Excellent.
So
I will help you with free Paramon, and but I suppose first we will clear out the undead from this mine.
Yes, undead must be dealt with.
in and out, 20-minute trip. Should be fine.
Easy peasy.
Okay.
Rogar, you were thinking about reaching out to a certain dark-skinned individual who you had met in the area. And now that you're here, what are your thoughts on what you might do next there? Given that we have some time left in this session. And that I don't have the mind battle map prepared.
I told Viz that it would probably be better that if he were to go tell him what transpired.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so just I think just to for my benefit and yours to recap, Drenel, the drow that you let go after killing Verith, did not go back to the Black Spider, but instead found Viz and reported to him. RF, just so you know, Viz is a doppelganger in the employ of the Black Spider. Viz killed Drenel, and then approached you all to get the real story, which, if I remember correctly, there was a natural 20 in there somewhere, and you were able to convince him that the story that Drenel told him was the actual story, that Madrick killed her. You guys showed up too late to help, tried anyway, weren't able to save her, and now the ball is in Viz's court to give his boss the terrible news that his sister is dead at the hands of a madman. Has he done that yet? Unclear. What I don't recall is, did you give Viz any instructions on reaching out to you guys? Like, did you tell him that you'd be down here in this area if the spider wanted to reach out to talk, or?
I don't think we gave him any instructions like that.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
I think you
I
maybe
think we
talked
just
about.
told him, go tell your boss.
I think before all of that happened, you talked about before his sister showed up and you know came to an untimely end. You were talking about heading back this way to maybe be in the area where the spider was, to reach out to him, to see if you could convince him to maybe come meet this dragon and, you know, unbeknownst to him, offer him up as a replacement for Paramon. If you're still thinking about that, now wouldn't be a bad time to try and find a way to reach out to him.
I'm just thinking, like, if we let some time pass, potentially go through with the plan of just let Madrick, quote unquote, kidnap Paramount when he's coming to visit. If we tell the Black Spider, hey, Madrick's in this castle at this location, then maybe Paramount won't be captured and we won't.
Kind of let it all sort itself out.
Yeah, like, I don't know if... I don't know what to do because there's so many options that we could do.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Do we wait and let Madrick attempt to kidnap Paramon, hold him there, and draw the Green Dragon out?
I think we need to wait and see if that will work first.
Right.
Is this strategy that you guys would be talking about, you know, with the dwarves all tucked away in the mine? Would you be talking about this in front of Louis now that he's sort of thrown his hat in the ring to help you guys?
I think so.
I imagine so.
Okay. So Louis, you start hearing details about, you know, Paramon's captivity, and at this point, given that you're all sitting around the fire and he's, you know that he is you know, a friend and compatriot of you know, someone else who's a friend of someone else who's a friend of yours, and is kind of wrapped up in all this too. Would you guys be would your party be willing to share some information about where you're at in different plot elements, and the meta version of that is how much can I tell RF from, you know, previous sessions? Like, would you catch him up on the basics?
Oh, for sure on the basics.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think basics minimum, but that's about it because we kind of just met him. We
Like,
still
yeah, I don't
know
think-
his intentions.
I don't think he needs to know about the map, the specifics. I don't think he needs to know, you know, certain arrangements that Scribble has made with people, or
Cool. Okay.
you know, shit like that. But for sure, the basics of what we're working on now.
Yeah, I don't think Rogar personally really has anything yet to hide.
No, but the others might, you know.
Right.
Like, I don't know how much you'd reveal about the skull in the well and what happened to Coneyberry and suspicions about that, you know, the Black Spider being behind that, and, you know, Deep's vision and all of that.
Yeah, the vision stuff and the Dralamar stuff, I don't know that we would mention that. I think it would just be filling him in. This is what we're working on right now. This is how we're trying to help Lenine and deal with the, you know, under Tressendar Manor. In order to do that, Paramon needs to be sprung from the dragon. In order to do that, we need to trade something. I mean, Lunalia's backstory can be told to him. That's fine. She doesn't have anything to hide. Same with Rogar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine your backstories would sort of come up as things happened related to them, you know, that you wouldn't necessarily just dish about all of that, right? And
Yeah.
that's, you know, from a narrative perspective, I like weaving in backstory stuff, but it doesn't have to be like, you know, there are things that unfold over a long time, and it's sort of just a reminder that your characters have depth, and that things that, you know, from your pasts can come back to haunt you, or can come back to entertain us, or whatever. So Louis, being a well-studied fellow in the arcane arts, you'd probably be a little bit keen to observe magical effects.
Absolutely, yeah.
You might notice the shadows move oddly around the Kenku. There is and you see it especially when there is a contrast between light and darkness, that the darkness reaches out to him. The flicker of firelight contrasting the shadows that fall about you. The shadows seem to reach out in tendrils and embrace him, almost like a cloak about him.
Is this like is this like anything I've seen before or read about before?
You
Can I
could
make
make
like
an
an
Arcana check.
check?
Yeah, you could make an Arcana check.
The size of your book.
It's not enough, but it has piqued your interest, I would imagine.
I can look at it and discern that it's something magical with
Yeah.
shadow around him.
Yeah, there's something not quite right around him, and he doesn't seem to notice it at all, or doesn't seem to pay it attention. It's not, it's not something he's concentrating on. It's not something he's focused on, and it just seems like a part of his nature. But it definitely catches your eye. Make a perception check. We'll give you advantage, given your nose for the arcane.
Nice.
You catch just a hint of a sparkle in the shadows, sort of beyond the firelight, as you follow the tendrils of shadow that unnaturally reach out towards Scribble. You follow them to sort of the darkest spot in the deep shadows between the tents, and you see a twinkle of eyes watching, specifically watching him.
Okay. I'll make a mental note of that, but otherwise don't ask about it or anything.
Oh yeah, how's Kern doing?
You
Still
go to check.
hiding.
You go to check on him because you haven't seen him in a while. You find him sitting in the same spot, just sitting in the grass, feet out in front of him, weapon and shield at his sides, just staring off into the east where the dragon left. He seems to kind of snap out of his reverie as you walk up. Hey.
Pretty big surprise, huh?
Yeah, well, I knew I'd see it again. I just didn't think I'd see it so soon.
You've seen that dragon before?
Uh-huh.
Are you sure it's the same one?
Oh, yeah. Well, I watched it kill my family. I ran and hid. I should have done something. What's the point of all of this if you don't do something? But you saw how big it is.
I'm sure that's not the last time we've seen it, so maybe in the future there is something you can do.
I don't know, Rogar. I mean, it's big. And we're small.
I don't know. Noro's pretty big.
Yeah, he is. What's with this new guy?
I don't know. I think he's from the east somewhere. I mean, he seems knowledgeable enough. Could be a good boon for our party.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure about him. I'm gonna keep an eye on him, if that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But oh, he deserves a chance, I guess.
Yeah, well, you guys gave me a chance. Should give him one too. Hey, you suppose that dragon's coming back tonight?
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
I
I
heard
think
the
the
little
gnome
man
said.
yell at him. He seemed to listen to him. That's weird, right? Like, that doesn't normally happen.
I think some magic was involved. I think the gnome said that until we go to bed tonight, I don't think the dragon will show back up.
Yeah, well, if he does, I'm gonna be ready for him.
I think we plan on sleeping in the cave tonight,
Good.
just as a precaution.
Well, I'll take first watch. I don't plan on sleeping, not for a while. I've got some words to the Forge Lord, and I hope he's got something for me. Hey. Thanks, man.
No problem. I'll just pat him on the shoulder. There's some stew left if you want to come join us by the fire.
Don't feel much like eating. Maybe I'll, take a little bit for later. Yeah. Well, as the evening grinds on, those of you about the fire converse and catch your new friend up. I think I can probably switch the stream overlay now. It's kind of gotten to the point where I'm fairly sure you're not going to murder him.
Only time will truly tell.
I mean, if Noro ever loses his soap again,
Could be lost.
You
in
mean
that
all
art.
3 soaps?
Yeah. So there we go. We've added Louis to the stream overlay.
Look, Scribble. Someone as squishy as you.
I love that armor class. 10.
Is
Wait.
that strength, right?
Yeah. Strength of 19? What the fuck?
Yeah, you do actually notice that I have these gauntlets on that are like really unwieldy and do not fit my vibe at all. Yeah, you notice I had no trouble pulling this for a tiny little guy. I had no trouble pulling this like bogged down wagon up a hill.
I just realized that you're now stronger than Noro.
oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, but you've seen like nothing demonstrable or demonstrative of this whatsoever, you know?
Yeah, Rogar,
Right.
you thought your choices in magic items were were clever and useless.
Wow.
Say hello
No,
to the-
yeah, that works.
Say hello to the gnome wizard with the strength gauntlets.
Muscle Wizard casts fist.
That's why you made yourself 6 foot tall. Ogre strength.
So, yeah.
Is the little book man still out?
He's actually jumped back. Pierre is his name. Pierre has jumped back into the little wagon. and it's kind of just like nestled in there among the stuff.
I can't help but notice that you have a book that moves on its own in there.
Oui, this is my little friend. His name is Pierre. He can be, very useful. Um, he does. He can get kind of, how do you say, mouthy. Um, he talks back sometimes, but he's a good guy, and he can be very very useful.
Huh. I don't think I've ever seen a talking book before.
We were arguing like the whole way here, so I'm glad that he is silent right now.
I don't think Rogar's ever seen a book before.
That is
With an intellect of 8.
He's seen books. I mean, he's seen Lonalia read hers.
that is a really cool wizard ability. Wow, I'm just reading up on it. That is
You can only use it once per long rest, and it takes a bonus action to summon him. So but there's no expiration on it. Like there's no, it lasts for so long.
yeah. It's and you can cast through it, and you can you
I
see
can
through it?
perceive through it.
Okay, it's like find familiar. It's
Yeah,
kind
except
of like find familiar.
yeah, it's a little bit better, I think.
Yeah, other than it's you're a little limited on being able to summon and dismiss it, right? I think
Yeah,
you
but
have
it's a little. I was gonna say it's almost like the trickster cleric
Yeah.
thing, where you can like cast spells through it and stuff really easily.
Yeah, I don't recall. Find familiar. You can't cast spells through, right? It's the trickster cleric's
It can.
duplicate.
I think you can deliver touch spells. A familiar can, but this I can like cast spells through it.
Yeah. It sheds dim light too.
Pierre, he's a good guy.
Oh, that's good. But you seem to have a lot of books with you.
Oh, there are many things. Yeah, I did not know exactly what I would need or how long I would be gone. So I just have this little wagon, and it has everything I need.
Are they your books? You've written all of these?
Oh no, I do. It is a little how do you say egotistical to. I don't keep copies of the books that I have written. They belong in a lab. I know what they say.
Ah, the information's already in your head, I guess.
Oui, yes.
You hear Fedar snort. We watched him drag that wagon out all the way from Vandalin to here. Insane. You know how many times it fell over? We had to stop and wait and watch him pack his books and scrolls back up.
Well, sometimes it's necessary. My father always had several different books, research notes with him. They're important if that's part of your life's work.
Exactement. Yes.
I'm just saying,
and,
buy a bag of holding with your money.
I believe I have one in here somewhere, and I like start rifling through the wagon again, and pull out a bag of holding. But I like to. I'm very visual learner, and I just like to look at it and see, so I know what is in there. And Pierre, he likes it. It's very comfortable. So I like it.
Sometimes you don't know what you're looking for until your eyes fall on it. And inside a bag of holding, you need to know what you're looking for before you reach in.
Oui, exactement.
No, my father kept his books on various shelves, tables, the kitchen counter. For the same reason, he wanted them to be available if he needed them in the moment.
There are pages strewn about the ruins of your home on fire, here and there.
Yeah. And she'll pull out her book and say, sadly, this is all that is left of his collection.
I see. And what is that book about?
It's his primary research journal. It's his life's work in one book, essentially. I'm hoping that it has clues for figuring out exactly what he was working on.
Interessante. What did he research?
His mother, or my mother, and he were working on research of. It was extraplanar in nature. I was very
Oh, mon
young, so I
Dieu.
don't know exactly. But it had to do with the planes. The elemental planes, mainly.
Well, if you would ever like to discuss this further or like me to take a look, I know it is very personal, so I do not want to intrude, but that sounds very interesting.
Maybe someday.
Oui, yes, someday.
I have something you may be interested in looking at.
Oui.
Dig in my bag and find the actual copy of Alberic's research notes.
Was this his
Oh la la.
like his journal over the last year, or?
No, we had his journal, and then we had the research notes.
Right. You gave the journal to Lenine, right?
I gave her the copy of the research notes and the actual journal.
Yeah, that's right. But you copied the notes.
Yeah.
Well, see, the whole point of finding Paramon was to find another wizard, somebody with an intelligence higher than 10, to figure out what the hell Albrecht was doing. And gee, now we've got a party member with an intelligence higher than 10 who happens to be a wizard.
Look at that.
Now you got to make the DM
Well,
work.
what do you know?
Now I gotta figure out what's actually in these notes. The notes that Scribble hands to you are interesting. A wave of nostalgia rushes over you as you see your friend and former mentor's distinct handwriting. Simple, refined, elegant. There's an engineered quality to his handwriting that doesn't mask the beauty of the knowledge contained within with flourish. And you hearken back to long nights of chalk on slate and discussions late into the night about all sorts of arcane curiosities. It brings a tear to your eye as as your eyes fall on what was possibly his last work. It's going to take you a while, but there's something here, and as you look over the papers, something draws you back. Your gaze lifts from the pages spread out in front of you back towards Phandalin. You need to see this place. You need to be in the place he was in. You need to feel what he felt to really understand the work he was doing. It's just a tickle at the back of your mind, but there is something that calls to you.
Oh, man.
Oh, merci beaucoup, mon ami. This is very interesting. Yes, I look forward to looking into this and figuring out what exactly happened to Monsieur Vauquer. Thank you very much.
Can we
Do you
forget the
mind?
vengeance now?
Oh, we for the moment, I think that is probably the best thing to do. Plus, you don't. I don't know. You guys don't seem that bad. You seem like nice people.
Most of the time.
Well, I don't know about the big man.
He's mostly harmless.
He's nice when he's not angry.
Federer speaks up. If he grabs you, just go with it. Try and roll. It'll hurt less when you hit the ground. He just kind of looks at Noro and flashes a grin. That was fun. We should do it again sometime.
Yes, Noro, are you all right? I know you got some nicks and cuts there. Do you need healing?
Please. Yes, I got some injuries.
Okay. She's gonna cast Cure Wounds at 2nd level.
Speaking on a meta level, I don't have a lot more prepared for tonight because when I found out that RF was going to be an hour and a half late, I planned some other shit to fill, and then he wasn't, and so I threw all of that out the window. And literally the next thing, unless there's anything else you guys want to do, is tomorrow morning, the dwarves began clearing the rubble that they felled over the mine entrance, which is on the battle map here is a little ways into the tunnel they've dug. 100, I think I said 120 feet or so. If there is more you guys want to do before that, please feel free to tell me. Let's keep going. But I don't have a lot more, and I don't really want to fast forward to that and make stuff up on the fly to get you into the mine. So you guys tell me, is there anything else you want to do before we take a long rest and awake tomorrow morning to face whatever is beyond that pile of rubble?
I mean, the only stuff that Lunalia would do would be RP fluff related.
Yeah, but that's cool.
She wants to practice with her lyre. She'll actually do it in front of the others.
Make a performance check.
Oh, jeebus.
I'll say this: every time you make a performance check, every time you practice it like that, you're getting one step closer to actually gaining proficiency. And sometimes you don't. That's amazing.
Oh my goodness! Just
the rest of you have heard her play this thing before. Louis, there's a chord of pun intended. A chord of excitement strikes your heart as the strangely colored elf draws a lyre out of her pack and tunes it a bit, plucking at a couple of the strings, and you lean towards the edge of your stool, eager with anticipation to hear beautiful elven music, and what instead tickles your ears is the sound of cats. Somehow, unexplainably, from this lyre, is the sound of mewling cats.
This instrument sounds somewhat different where I am from. But thank you for this beautiful, absolutely beautiful serenade.
Louis, there's something that you should know if we're going to continue and be working together. I abhor liars. I know that I'm terrible. This is my mother's lyre, and I've only recently started attempting to play. Sometimes I'll catch it on a good night and it will sound not bad. Other nights, like tonight, well, maybe I'll just put this away for another time.
I look forward to hearing it more.
Oh, well, good. Maybe I'll practice with around the fire more often.
Amazing.
Have Timmers and Faust come back yet? I don't know if you said that or not.
No, they haven't.
Would Rogar know where they normally go hunting?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
it's been a while, but yeah, of course. There's a wooded spot to the west of here. Oh boy, and am I backwards? Hang on. Let me have a look at the main map. This map might be upside down. Nope. No, we're good. Okay. To the west a little ways, there is a densely wooded slope that Timmers with his longbow has favored in the past. Many a time they would come back hauling an elk that you would butcher and prepare the meat in various ways, and it would last a decent week or so. But it's late. They hunt at dusk, but there isn't much of a reason to go much past that, and it's been some time.
I'd say Rogar would probably grab his sword, shield, and unpack his longbow and arrows and go looking.
Okay. Go ahead and make a.
I mean, he would tell the others at the camp that he's just going to look around for a bit to see if he can find the other two. And make a what check?
Go ahead and make a survival check. Fedar comes with you because he's bored.
Got it.
As you let everybody know you're going, he just says, "Come with you if you don't mind the company."
Sure.
Missing friends. Let's go find him. Go ahead and roll that again with advantage. He'll help you track them.
Just roll it again,
Yeah,
or
just
roll
roll
with
it one more
advantage?
time and take the higher of the two. Yeah, okay. So the first one. It takes you a while. It's dark, and you have goggles, don't you?
Yes.
It's dark, and you start out at first thinking, "Boy, it'd be nice to have a torch right about now, but I don't want to draw a lot of attention." And then you realize that, of course, I have these, and as you affix the goggles on, Fedar just shakes his head and says, "You're cheating." The world grays about you, but comes into much more defined clarity. You're able to see further, and eventually you find some sign, some clear footprints in a damp spot of earth, and you're on their trail. As you follow the trail, make a perception check, and I will roll one for Fedar as well. I got a 3. You become aware of something moving alongside you, 30 feet off in the brush. And as you move under the canopy of the dense woods, when you stop, it stops. And then you move again. And you stop, and it stops again. And the only way you know it's there is just by the brief delay between your movement and it. And it's paralleling you a distance off. watching you. Humanoid or
It's-
vaguely humanoid.
It's 30 feet away.
Off to your right. Fedor doesn't seem to notice it. He's still intent on tracking the tracks that you'd found. You lose them for a while, you find them again, but you've become much more focused on this thing in your peripheral vision following you.
I would turn to Fidere and tell him to keep following the tracks. I'll follow behind, and I will I guess move out of sight behind like a tree or something and attempt to stealth.
Okay. Make your usual stealth check with your, I think it's disadvantage in your armor.
Oh. Not really moving, but just like moving behind a tree and just crouching down.
You crouch down behind the tree, and as you look about you, to your right, there is a thin, short, dark-skinned elf standing there, sword at his side, and he's just looking down at you. You're not very good at hiding.
Not really my specialty.
Nesnar,
I'll get up.
Nesnar asked me to watch over you and your friends.
Have you been wandering around these woods or just watching us?
Here and there.
Have you seen a human and a tiefling around here?
His eyes narrow and he looks about. No.
That's concerning.
Why?
They're friends. They're with us at the they're with the Rock Seekers.
Yes, I've been watching them as well. But these two I did not see.
I'm hoping they didn't get eaten.
That I saw. Concerning, but not so much for those of us who live underground. The darker ones concern us more. Do you have a message for my master?
No, unfortunately not. At least nothing new to add.
Carry on then. You have nothing to fear from me. And he just steps back and sort of disappears into the darkness. You see him, but the way he moves, he blends in very well with the dense underbrush, and even with your dark vision, he disappears from sight rather quickly.
I'll catch up to Feder then.
You go looking for Feder, and you find him. He is crouched down beside a tree and just watching something off in the distance. He hears you moving up behind him and just holds a hand up. And as you stop, he says, I think I found them. There, in the clearing. Look. As you crouch down beside him, you look into a small clearing lit with pale moonlight. And you see what's left of humanoid carcasses torn open, ribs splayed wide, entrails strewn about, mostly consumed, limbs missing. I think the dragon got them.
Seems that way. I don't know how safe it is to get to that clearing.
It flew away, but there's no guarantee it's not back. If it ate them there, it might come back. I don't know. It's best to return and tell their friends they're gone.
Would it be possible to get closer without getting into the clearing?
You can get close enough to make a perception check.
Okay. That'll work.
That is a... Oh, yeah, with your shield, of course. That is a great perception check, and it's just enough. Hang on a sec. Let me have a look at your skills. Yeah. So Rogar doesn't have medicine.
No.
But he's a cook by profession. He's butchered many an animal. They're all relatively the same on the inside. Things in different places, different shapes and sizes. They were not feasted on by a dragon. There is evidence, even at a distance, even from 20, 25 feet away at the very edge of this clearing, as far as you dare to sneak out and look, there's evidence of sharp incisions. This was made to look like they were killed by a dragon and eaten. And it's only with that roll and your keen eye, your butcher's eye, that you would recognize knife work as opposed to the rip and tear of teeth. And it is a gruesome sight. Like, somebody did a really good job of making them look like they were torn apart by large fangs.
Does it look like it was a vicious knife? Like it was a serrated knife, or does it look like it was clean cuts but
So that's where the betrayal lies, in how clean the cuts are.
Okay.
It looks like they were killed and then hacked up.
Okay.
To look like something had torn them apart, and parts of them removed to look like some of the a large portion of the meat and entrails had been gobbled up, and what's left of them should look to an untrained eye like the pieces that a dragon wouldn't have just gobbled up, but the rest tells a different tale. And I think if you all want to punch your long rest buttons, that's where we can end tonight.
All right.
If you guys are okay with that.
Noise.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's... You don't want to just drag it out for the sake of dragging it out for another half an hour.
Yeah, I'd say Rogar would probably grab Feder and head back to camp, knowing that it's probably not safe out here.
Do you tell him what you saw, or do you hide it from him?
I'll hide it from him.
Okay.
If they're gonna come back to camp, could I talk to Feder real fast before we go?
Sure.
I just want to drag him off so it's just me and him.
Yeah, no, you managed to catch his eye as he and Rogar come back. And he kind of looks at you and nods and wanders off away from the firelight to stand sort of out towards the edge of a cliff beyond a large rock, where the two of you could probably sneak over there and stand on the far side of the rock, and it looked like he was just standing there looking off into space.
So the reason that your boss came to Vandalin was for this mine based off of a letter they received, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Would your boss like being made a fool and knowing that that letter was not written by one of the dwarves?
As I said before, I'm not really too concerned with what he does, so long as he keeps his head.
But if he were drawn to town and in danger by someone who happened to write this letter,
What do you know?
you may want to be careful of someone, a Hammond Sam, who would benefit apparently from people going missing.
I think that's a deception check. But I'm going to give you advantage on that because he doesn't really have an idea of what you're talking about and really hasn't cared too much about what these nobles and merchants do other than that, you know, whoever he's paid to keep alive stays alive. He nods. He says, Hammond Sam. Right? You're saying he is behind this letter.
He does stand to benefit, and he would probably say he received the same letter. The dwarves did not write it.
You wish for me to take this back to my employer?
I'm sure someone as your employer would not like someone making a fool out of them just for their own profit.
You tell me this out of kindness? If things go well, he may reward me for this information. Curious, what is your stake in this?
I've known the man from back in my times in Dralamar, or known of him. I was not treated well in the city.
He looks at you and nods. And he says, I can imagine. All right, I'll tell him. But if he pays me well for this information, none of it is yours.
It's all yours.
All right. Maybe this trip all the way out here into the mountains wasn't a complete waste of time. Enjoy your new friend. I didn't.
He's not quite as annoying yet as others that we've traveled with.
Give it time. A day or so should be enough. He turns and starts to walk away.
Okay, that
Anyone
was
else? Anything? Bueller?
When it does come time to rest,
Here we go.
I will say, if we want something a little more secure and comfortable, I can provide a little. I like to sleep in a little cabin. So if you would like, you may join me. And I start casting La Petite chez la Mort, aka Lehman's Tiny Hut.
Or as I like to
And
call it,
it's-
Louis' Love Shack.
Louis Love Shack. It's a small cabin, just like 10 by 10, with like a door, and it looks like a little wooden cabin, but it's obviously not wooden, right? It's translucent, somewhat translucent. Well, no, it's completely opaque, but it's obviously made of magic or something. And I open up the door and walk in, and there's a bunch of like bunks in there and a small little workspace as well. Um, and I motion anyone who wants may rest here, and it provides us some protection from anybody outside.
Do you cast it
Wow.
out in sort of like the open space, or do you cast it, like you try and wedge it into the entrance of the mine?
I would do it like here,
Okay,
or so.
cool, cool.
I don't think that it can. I mean, it's only 10 by 10. It's not massive, but
And it is not concentration, right?
correct. Although once I finish casting it, I must remain inside of it.
Right.
Anyone else
Right.
who I designate can go in and out, but I will remain inside of it.
So, question for you, and not just because there's a large dragon out there who is flying away because he was told to, but maybe for that reason exactly. Can you maintain concentration while you sleep? I genuinely don't
I
know.
don't
I've never really
know.
looked it up. I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to
I don't. I
because
don't.
I'm curious to see if you're gonna wake up with a dragon in your face or not.
There's no way you have to
Uh,
concentrate on it.
No, not on this. On the other
Mm.
spell that he cast to drive the dragon away.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, as of right now, I'm still concentrating on suggestion.
Hmm.
Um, I would imagine that I don't know if he's like directly flying away for the entire duration that I'm concentrating, or not.
My
Um,
interpretation of the spell is it's you know uh, he has to do his best to complete what you asked him to do, given that it's reasonable. Um, and he wouldn't necessarily spend the entire 8 hours doing it. If he finished it in 10 minutes, he's done in 10 minutes. But I kind of feel like, um, if he fails that wisdom saving throw, he's not going to be able to go against your suggestion either, right? Like,
yeah, I would be concentrating so that he would still be leaving, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's like flying in one direction for the
right?
entire time that I'm
Yeah,
concentrating.
no, he's like bugger off, and he did, and I'm curious. I got to make some rolls. I got to think about. I have to think about this in his character's frame of reference to see what he would do next. Um, you know, just come back and be angry, or think about it like, wait a minute, they did that to me. What else can they do? I better think about this and wait and watch. Um, how intelligent of a hunter and a combatant is this beast. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah, it
just
says if the suggested activity can be completed in shorter time, the spell ends when the subject finishes what it was asked to do.
okay. Well, in that case, I would imagine at some point Louis becomes aware of his concentration breaking as the spell ends. Perhaps when the dragon buggers off to a sufficient distance that the arcane binding of the spell is satisfied. What happens next would be an unknown.
Yeah, there must to be a dragon around. Um, Shalamore here is some protection, but we might have to run into the cave at some point. I don't know.
Sleep in the cave. Got it.
I
I'll go
don't
sleep in the
really.
hut, in
I
the
don't
in the
really.
cabin.
Yeah, I don't really require sleep, so I don't mind sitting outside. It's nice enough out. I will keep a watch until I do need to trance. And then I will wake one of you up.
You hear Kern from a distance just say, I'll sit with you if you don't mind.
I don't mind at all.
I can't sleep after that. I have some words of prayer. I'll be quiet, though. Thanks. Well, and so we ended there with the spellcasters sleeping in their hut, and the elf and half orc out in the open, keeping an eye out. The rest tucked away in the relative safety of the twisting mine corridor. Not really more than 15 feet across at any point, although there is a larger area in a bend 60 feet back or so that sports a table and, some makeshift stools made out of barrels and crates. The table has some plans spread out over it that the younger Rockseeker brother has drafted up, as well as some of his survey tooling and a few other supplies stacked up. A little ways beyond that, you can see where the tunnel has been collapsed in on itself to safeguard their exit. And as you all settle down for a long rest, make sure that you poke those long rest buttons and top yourselves up if you lost any hit points or used any spell slots. And we will see you next week.
Excellent.
Nice.
Thanks, everybody. RF, welcome aboard. Hope you enjoyed
Yeah,
dragon
thanks, it was a
fishing.
blast. I've never gone dragon fishing before. Did not disappoint.
When you dangled that guy up in the air, I was like, I was looking for a way to introduce this dragon, and there it is. There it is.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
levitate is
Yeah.
great CC, but not when it's dragging around as much, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, when you raised him to, like, 40 feet off the ground, I was thinking, like, how could I safely get him, like, lower down? I could get, like, some rope and maybe shoot an arrow at him, but that might hurt him.
I was really hoping that the athletics check had gone a little bit differently, and now you're getting lifted off the ground too. Like, I got him, but he's got me. Oh, that was fun. That was I got some edits to do on the website. Got to move Yanis, Timbers, and Faust to the Departed section. That's going to be a whole page now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've-
That accent, though. Oh my god.
that
You
was
know,
great.
I will say, I was expecting worse.
Oh no, the accent's great. And the little bits of French that you keep throwing in.
Well, dude, I don't know accents. I don't know how to do fucking accents, but I was just like, well, I took a million years of French as a kid, so maybe this will pay off some. I don't know,
I'm
Something.
just gonna end the stream here. Thanks to anybody who was watching. Hope it wasn't too terrible.